Welcome to the Mother Daughter Ish podcast.
Your mama's favorite podcast.
And the podcast your daughter always wanted.
Let's talk about it. I gotta admit, mother and daughter are always greater when they're together. Everything's better. Mother and daughter, oh, they're the greatest duo. Mother and daughter, oh, they're the greatest duo.
Let's have a little fun discussing dads. What you think about that?
That's a good topic to talk about.
I think it's a great topic because I hear so many people get so jealous about how big Mother's Day is, but then they always talk about for dads, oh, well, I'm just going to get a tie and some barbecue. Some say that their dads are funny. Some say they're very, very serious. Some even say that they've got them really, really spoiled. I've heard a lot of men say, oh, yeah, I whoop the boys, but no, I don't touch the girls. I don't whoop the girls. So
Yeah.
that's what made me laugh the last time when we were talking and you said that you got a whooping one time from your
One
dad. And I'm like,
time.
you got at least one? Like, I don't understand. Okay, well, I didn't even know about the one.
Yeah.
So I just assumed that there was never, you
Oh.
never got a whooping from your dad. So
I never thought of it from your perspective either. Like if you ever knew.
yeah.
Yeah.
So my mind is weird like that. I always think about like, I wonder if other people think like I think or they have a perspective like I have. That's why I don't get mad when I hear other people's perspective. I just respect it and move on. I don't have to feel like that.
Right.
You know what I was wondering? In one word, if you had to describe your dad, what would that one word be? Because everybody has like that one thing that they say.
I would say smooth.
That's funny that you say smooth because I kind of thought the same thing about my dad, that he was kind of like, he was like cool and he was really laid back. But I would say, if I would have to say one word, I would say cool as a fan. You know, a sentence, I would guess. Cool. Because when you think of cool, you could also think of ice, and he wasn't that.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to say, cool, cool, like as in laid back, real cool. Not a man of many words. But he got the point across or whatever. So if you had other words to describe your dad, what would those words be?
My dad was like always the life of the party. I remember every time we'd go around his friends or something, he'd always be the funniest one around, or just, I guess, really just the life of the party. That's the main thing I can describe him as.
Well,
But
that
he's
makes
definitely
things
just silly.
that makes
Yeah.
things kind of fun. I know. Having that kind of personality, you always are going to get invited to the parties.
Yeah, that's
Whether you
true.
do what everybody else does or not, they're going to invite you because you're the party starter. Like, have you ever been to like a party and that one person says, "Come on, y'all, get up off y'all feet, let's do," and then the party is on from there?
Yeah,
Yeah, I like that. I like that kind of thing.
it was a pool party. Yeah.
A pool party, yeah. So if I have to describe my dad in those kind of words, I would say he was a gentle giant, and he was very tall, about almost 7 feet tall. And that's nothing compared to how tall his dad was, like over 7 feet, like 7'2" or 3" or something. You know, big, tall, lanky country boy. So they didn't play sports or anything, but I've been asked that by many people. He was a country boy from East Texas, so very, very country. So the gentle giant, the coolness and the laid backness.
What part of East Texas? Oh yeah,
Crockett,
yeah. I
Texas.
remember
Yeah,
that
down
sausage.
past the dirt roads. And let me just put an emphasis on red dirt roads. My mom has a really great story that she tells about when it stormed and their car got stuck in the red mud. And she's like, you cannot get out of red mud. And that they were going over a bridge and the bridge collapsed. And he had to pull her out of the car and carry her over the bridge down to the family house. But my mom is...
What a cute love story.
That is so cute. But think about
never...
it. Imagine, my dad was almost 7 feet tall, but my mom
Yeah.
is 4'9",
Yeah, she
almost
really
5 feet.
is.
So that was a blessing that she had somebody that was taller than her. Because I don't know if you realize this, but like in the hood and in the country, the ditches are deeper.
Wow.
I mean, you could get your car stuck in a ditch, and you better call a tow truck because you're not getting out.
Y'all would never stop hearing about my story about how my man saved my life if that ever happened to me. I'm gonna get that on every chance I can
Damsel in distress. Like, it's hot outside. Oh, we'll be faint right quick. Look, be like in them. Remember back in the day when what's his name used to carry Puffy's umbrella. And we used to think that was so cool. Remember, he had that guy that used to carry his umbrella.
Oh my God!
I forgot his name.
Billy.
Yeah. He used to carry his umbrella. But then in the old movies where you would see where like the ladies would faint or walk over water, the guys would throw their trench coats down. I'm like, where are those dudes? I need to go back there. But again, you know, he's a country boy from East Texas. Very quiet, but very observant. And I know I got that from him because I'm very observant. I may not say a word, but trust me, I could tell you every single move you just made. I'd even have to say he was slick. And the reason I say he was slick is because with some of the friends that he used to hang out with, they respected him so highly. And they were doing felonious things, I'm sure. But but I just would have to say he was pretty slick. And the one thing that I can definitely remember is that my dad was an alpha man. And I saw that whenever we were around his friends, that they kind of looked up to him and was kind of yes sirring him, you know, yes sir this, yes. And we're talking about dudes that were his age were calling him yes sir, which is why I tell you I really felt like it was important that after he got sick and had a heart attack and a stroke and I brought him to live here with me, it was so important for me to say, okay, after he started to get a little well, I said, okay, on Saturdays, if you want me to take you over to the hood, which is 3rd Ward, if you want me to take you over to 3rd Ward to hang out with your buddies, I will get up every Saturday and take you over there for 9 o'clock and pick you up before the sun goes down, because you know I got to be to bed by 7 o'clock. So I need you to be home. And then plus he like to play the lottery on Saturday night. So if we're gonna get you picked up at 5, get the lottery tickets in before 9, and get you bathed up and dressed up for bed, I got to get you at 5 because we had a schedule and y'all were little, so I had a schedule for him and a schedule for y'all. So I like, and I think that's why I like a man now that has an alpha aura about them. I don't like any other type of man, I can honestly say, and there's so many types out there, but I don't. But after I just described my dad, which is your grandpa, how would you even describe your grandpa, just from the amount of time that he was here, which was 3 years that he stayed with us?
He was very smart. I remember he would be teaching me stuff well beyond my time, like as far as like survival tips. I'm like, dude, I'm 8.
Yeah, but you got to think about where he come from. He come from the country, then straight to the hood. And when you trying to get respect, there's just certain, what I call, you either have to have, but you have to have the combination of book sense, common sense, and street sense. And when you have that, man, you can watch out for all kinds of things. But, you know, what other way did you hear people describe your dad?
He was definitely adventurous, especially when he got that bike. I remember one time we were just chilling at his last wife's house, and it's like he just got up. That's a whole nother story. I said last wife. I was like, what do I say? Second stepmom? I don't know.
Whatever.
That's a whole nother episode.
Yeah, that's a whole nother story.
But one day it's just like he just got up. It was almost like he was going out with his friends or like going by the mall or something. Next thing you know, he just came back with a bike. He's very spontaneous. That's what I'll say.
Spontaneous, yeah.
And it was very spontaneous because we knew every weekend or every other weekend we'd go over there. We didn't know what to expect, but we really just go back to the house to go to sleep and get up and have something to do all day.
But so he liked to be out and doing stuff then, huh?
Oh yeah, when he got that bike, it was very spontaneous. It was just like when he started doing barber school. It was like, what? You just wake up and want to do different stuff? Cool.
Yeah. But you know, spontaneous people are like that though. They like this today and don't like that tomorrow. They on a whole nother thing. You know, me, I'm not spontaneous when it comes to anything because I like to think things through. So you might think it was spontaneous, but I done took 5 months to think about it and evaluate it and write it down, see what it looked like on paper and everything. But what are some of the things that you hear some of your friend girls say about their dads? I know for me, the lady friends that I would have or business partners, they would be my age or much older, maybe 20 years older than me. And I know I had a friend that said that the reason that she is the way she is because she ended up having her dad's hands. So in other words, she had man hands. And she said her daddy told her, you don't worry about those man hands, you just keep your fingernails polished. And she said to this day, she has never in her entire almost 80 years, she has never worn another color of polish other than red. Because she said red was the polish that the women back in the day used because it was considered sexy. And she said her daddy told her, you don't worry about having those man hands, you just keep those nails polished. And she said she's never gone a day without her nails polished since she was a kid. So that impressed upon her so much that, wait a minute, I can disguise these men, because she did have man hands. I have to admit, she did have man hands, but because she kept her nails always together, it, you know,
took away from that.
it took your eyes away from worrying about how big manly her hands and rough they looked, you know. It did. So what other things would you say about your dad? Because it's good to have conversations about dad, because as girls, you may not realize it, but it does make an impression upon you. I know for a fact. Mm-hmm. I can tell you that I am attracted to tall men because I've been around a lot of tall men.
Yeah.
So those things do impress upon you.
I remember like seeing my dad trying to be that cool, smooth, tough guy around his friends, but like soft around us as his
the
kids.
Girls, yeah.
I
think that's pretty common. I think that is pretty common, but I can even tell you in middle school and high school, he was the same way though, because he would be perfect around me, like perfect gentleman, perfect. I mean, just the best boyfriend ever. And then when he would get around his homeboys, he'd be like, "Man, I run this, you know, like I'm in charge of everything." And I'd be like, "Okay,
it's nice to live a little fantasy.
Okay." And I would be like, "Okay,
I know the real
him."
Yeah,
but I would always say, "I'm gonna let you have that because whatever, it does not
it's
even
nice
matter."
to live a little fantasy every now and then.
It's nice to have a little fantasy every now and then. How important do you think it is for daughters to actually have a close bond with their dads? Because, you know, we hear all kind of things about, and this is sad to say, but I know I was watching a documentary about female entertainers, and they were saying that they had interviewed over 100 and something women, and out of that 100 and something women, about 98 of them did not have a relationship with their fathers. And that impressed upon them to go out and just let men treat them any kind of way and do things because they never had a relationship with their fathers, and some of them not even their mothers. So how important do you think it is for girls to have, ladies, women to have?
I think it's extremely important because, you know, like they say, that's the first man that you come and, you know, encounter with in your life.
Right.
You know, like the first man that you're going to love.
Right.
And then that's also the first man you're going to see how he treats other women too. And that's, you know, you got to take that into a whole other perspective.
And
in your own relationships and stuff.
Oh, that is so true. But I wonder how many women actually pay attention to that, for example, have children with certain types of men, and then they end up not letting them build that bond and things. I wonder if you think people paying attention to that, or just kind of willy-nilly?
It might be both sad, but that's sad. Yeah.
It's pretty interesting. So, what's the best Father's Day you ever had with your dad?
I think the best one would be the funniest one because my dad, his wardrobe was stuck like in the early 2000s.
And he used to call his outfits units, right? That's so Houston. Oh, I just got this unit.
He used to be stuck in, I'm talking about the collar plaid shirts.
Yeah.
With the jean shorts.
Yeah.
I mean, he had nice shoes and had some jewelry, but it was always a fitted cap. So, like, you are stuck in, like, New York 2000s. We didn't think he was going to get, it wasn't like he got offended, but he was, like, stiff. Like, he was like, y'all not changing my outfit. But we tried to get him, like, like a nice polo shirt, some nice, better fitting shorts. And maybe some, you know, just to wear that for the Father's Day so we can, you know, have good pictures and stuff. But
yeah.
He
said, "No, I'm finna put my unit back on."
It didn't work.
It didn't work?
Yeah, it didn't work.
Did he ever wear that stuff again?
He wouldn't even let us get the outfit.
Oh, y'all could.
We took him to the mall.
Oh, y'all tried to buy some. He said no?
No, we scraped our dollars up trying to get him something, and he was not having it.
So y'all didn't even get to the purchase?
No, we didn't even get to the register.
You know, hey, I understand it because there are just some things that I'm standing 10 toes down on. Like, you're not finna change certain things about me. It's like, I have seen the other side of that and don't like it. If I go back any further, I don't like it. I like where I am right now. I heard a girl say today she was a 80s baby and the 90s raised her. I was like, oh, that's cute. See how I can rhyme that. I'm a 70s baby and I can't rhyme nothing with that. But I would tell you the funniest Father Day I ever had with my dad is I went to Macy's, and he always wanted a terry cloth robe, but he didn't want to pay the money for it. Mm-hmm. So he threw a little hint out about he wished he had a good robe, but that was several months before, because I started hinting to people like way before, right? Mm-hmm. So several months before, he had said, you know, he wished he had a nice robe to wear around his house, and I was just like, kept that in the back of my brain bank. And so I went to Macy's, because I know in his entire existence, he had never had anything in his entire life from a Macy's. That's not the type of dude he was. He was not a go to the Macy's to get any kind of clothes. Matter of fact, I'm willing to bet he probably got his clothes from Walmart, or some woman bought all of his clothes. But I would never imagine I would have to say that I don't believe he would have ever stepped into a mall in his entire life, because that ain't the type of dude he was. But I went to Macy's and I saw this beautiful emerald green terry cloth robe, but I had to get it in the area for the big and tall men because he was so tall. I needed it to be long, because I didn't want to get him a robe and then it stopped like right at his knees. That would have that would have been so, like, you can't do that to a dude who has a size 24 shoe. You can't. That's just ugly. So I said I wanted to get him the house shoes too. I had to go to another store for big feet men to get the house shoes, but I got the robe, and I think I paid over $200 and something for it. When I tell you, when he took that robe out of the box, I ain't never seen no dude, his skin color, turn as red and purple as he did, smiling about that robe. Oh, he put it on over his clothes and styled, and I think he felt like it was like $1 million robe. But to this day, after he died, to this day, I still have that robe hanging up right in the front of my closet, because every time I go in my bathroom, I look at that robe and I laugh, and I'll be like, I wear that robe every now and then. It's too big for me, of course, way too big, the sleeves and everything. But man, I'm tell you, if somebody would have told him, dude, that robe is ugly, he would have fought everybody and their mama. That's how excited and proud he was about that robe, because he had never had a terry cloth robe. He had never been to a hotel that had a terry. But I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I saw somebody with a terry cloth Versace type of robe on. It was very nice, but I'm not into name brands. I didn't know much, but I was just like, oh, that's very nice. For it almost looked like, you know what a smoking jacket is?
No.
For guys who smoke cigars, they have like a smoking jacket. It's kind of velvet. The guy who does the Stay Something, my friends, the Heineken guy, he always wears like a blue, what they call a smoking jacket. It's a jacket they wear when they smoke cigars. It's an old fashioned thing. Oh. But anyway, the Versace robe that I saw almost reminded me of a smoking jacket, so it was pretty sexy though to me. Again, I like guys who smoke cigars. I shouldn't say that. I like a cigar smoking man, but not all guys. So anyway, that was a fun Father's Day, and I did it all on my own because I just was like, I want him to know this came from his baby daughter, his youngest daughter. Like, you're your dad's oldest daughter, and I'm the youngest daughter, so it's like, okay, I wanted to do something. Do you think girls look at guys like and measure them to their dads, or do they not even care about that anymore? They want totally opposite, or how do you, in your age range is what I'm asking?
I think some women that look for opposite is like qualities that they wish that their dad might have had towards other women. But I know a lot of good qualities a lot of women look for in men too.
And I think knowing at least what you want and what you don't want is a good way to start, because then you'll know how to choose, because we come across all kind of people all the time, but it doesn't mean that they're all for us. So do you ever hear girls say like, I'm not accepting it because my daddy wasn't that type, or whatever?
I never heard that. Not from none of my friends, at least. I don't remember. But I wouldn't be surprised if I heard someone say that.
Yeah, I heard your sister say one time, this guy told her, we were in Mexico or something. Oh, yeah, we were in Mexico downtown. And this guy was like, oh, my God, you're so beautiful. She said, I know. My daddy told me that all my life. I was laughed so hard because I was like, she's right. Her dad has always told her how beautiful she was and all of that. And I'm very proud of that, because I think that when you do get that affirmation and that confirmation from your parents, then nobody can come along and be slick and tell you something in your ear you've never heard, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, that's something new. Oh, that's something different. Oh, let me go see what this over here is about, because now I haven't heard that before.
That's true.
So I do think that's important, and this might be something that most people may think that is not a good thing, but in my opinion, I think even when you don't get along with your child's father, or if you don't get along with the kid's dad, I think that you still should allow them to build that relationship.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but some people hold it against them. Remember
like
when you were like
negative?
How old were you when you got your cell phone?
I think I was like
your real
6th grade.
6th grade. That was when I said, okay, she's old enough now to have a phone. She can build her own relationship with her dad. She can call and find out what weekend she can go over there. She can do her own thing. I don't have to referee anything. So I think 6th grade was pretty fair. Is it? Yeah, it might have been 6th grade. I don't think it was
I
younger.
had a black flip phone.
Oh gosh, you remember that flip phone? I probably still have it somewhere, right?
Probably knowing you.
Now, here are some controversial, what I felt like were controversial statements that I read. And one of them was, according to the Institute of Family Studies, this was done in 2018. So between 2018 and 2021, we know a lot has changed. But either way, this article is still out in the public. But in this article, in this family studies article that was done in 2018, they did a thing about different myths, and they didn't agree or disagree. They just kind of put it out there. So let me see what you think. I'm going to name them and you tell me what you think. They said that more people are accepting of dads being like stay-at-home dads. So like they're a dad mom. So like they stay-at-home dads. Do you like that concept of you go out and work and dad stays home and raises the kids? Or what do you like?
I can't imagine that personally. But I'm just saying it do depend on their dynamic, like what job she might have.
Let's say he has no job. Let's say he has no job, but he's raising the children while you go out and you're a lawyer or something.
That's a full-time job in itself.
Yeah.
So,
I know.
I don't see nothing wrong with that, especially if it gets stuff done. If it's a good dynamic and a system for them,
right?
Because that's homeschooling he doing, feeding them, cleaning after
cooking,
them,
and making sure I have food when I get home. So you would be okay with that?
Like if that happened, like if that was my situation?
Yeah, would you be the breadwinner and let dad stay home and just do everything that you would have traditionally done as a woman?
It's hard to say that because I'm not thinking about having no kids. But I mean, no, not for me.
I was about to say, can you please bottom line it? Because you over here kind of tap dancing.
I don't just sit and think about myself having kids. So when these topics come up, I'm like, oh, I gotta tap into this.
Well,
but no, not for me.
So this study said that dads are now okay with 50-50. Now 50-50 kind of makes my heart get palpitations because I don't like this concept and I already told you how I felt about it last time.
Make sure you have your rent ready by
yeah, so 50-50 is we split everything down the middle, including the grocery bill. The light bill is $150. I'm gonna need your $75 by the third. I mean,
roommate situation.
So I'm not comfortable with that situation, and that's not a situation that would ever be a part of my life.
Nah.
It says in here that dads prefer to be to live together than to actually have to take the step of getting married. Would you prefer the live-in situation, or let's lock this down with a marriage? Because I notice now with your age group up to in the mid-30s that a lot of I'm old-fashioned, so back in the day we would call it shacking up, which was not allowed for me to do. I wouldn't have wanted to do it because I'm not that one.
It'd have to be marriage for sure, because I'm not ever doing no shacking up ever again.
So like in other words, because you've done it, you're like, this doesn't work because it's a lot of energy and time spent, huh?
Yeah, like next time I'm in a relationship, we definitely gonna have to have our own place, because it's also exciting not only having your own space, but having that time to miss somebody. Because being around them all the time, that will get annoying.
So it sounds like you're not going to get married because you don't get no...
I'm not even thinking about getting married. I'd be totally fine if I'm not at this point, too. That's how sad the dating
this
pool
is what your age group is saying, though, is that y'all don't need to have kids younger. Like, we used to want to have them in our 20s so that by the time we're 35, 40, we free or whatever. But this is what's saying. Like, I remember I was getting ready to do a abstinence program grant for a client of mine in Louisiana, and we had read the program and everything. We got everything together. I even took a whole weekend. I went up to Louisiana, stayed up there for the weekend, lined everything out. By that Monday morning, they dropped the grant because they said after they went back and reevaluated, there wasn't a lot of teenage pregnancy or that type of thing that needed to be funded for the schools and stuff. Now, I don't know how true that is, but they said that the numbers for teenage pregnancy had come down so significantly, and I think it's probably because of all the freedoms that y'all have now and all the social media and all of the information you have access to now, which, we didn't. So I understand what you're saying. And a lot of girls your age are saying the same thing because I'm hearing it all the time. So it says on here that dad thinks kids are always okay after a divorce. In other words, the divorce happens and there's no real aftercare. That dads just kind of go on. They create their whole new life and family and wife and kids. And they feel like, well, mom got it. The kid's going to be okay.
That's not always true. I've even personally seen in daycares how much that affects the kids when they notice a split in the family. They totally act out. Like it's just visible. Like, you the only kid in the class acting out like just.
And you've also probably seen dad picking up the baby one time, then mama picking up the kids,
or
and how they
daddy
react.
coming with another girlfriend. It'd be a lot of drama and mess in daycares, especially when you know the parents or have babysat the kids outside of the daycare. You know.
This study also talked about dads thinking if they leave, then somebody else will come in and they'll take over it, and they go on and get with their new family. So that's pretty interesting. Now, this one here disturbed me a little bit more. In the Washington Post, it was saying, and this is a June 2017 article, it said dads are dispensable. I didn't like the way that was worded. And then it also said that fathers don't connect with their children like moms. Well,
that's not true.
I mean, but let's think about it. Who carried the baby? Who first bonded with the baby? Who fed that baby and did everything? So, of course, naturally, a baby, especially if a mom breastfeeds a baby, naturally a baby is going to bond. I mean, I've been hearing people talking about they still breastfeeding at 5 years old. So imagine if I'm 5 years old and I'm walking up to you to get breastfed, I'm probably never letting you go.
But that can also happen. You still can have a connection with your father as well. They're trying to compare that, but I think both relationships are different. Very different.
Well, think about it. Every relationship dynamic is different, because if they have a second or third child, each one of those relationships are going to be different. But I didn't like the way this was compared.
Like mom. Yeah, I don't like. I don't even like how it's worded.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying. I did not like the way it was worded. But maybe they were trying to get another point across. I just thought it was interesting to bring up. But we definitely want to know what you think in the comments, and make sure you put your comments in there so that we know how you describe your dad, and then also any myths that you've heard about dads that either you've said, nah, that's not the way it works in my community, or yeah, it's kind of the way it is. The reason why I think that question is important to bring up is because when I think about the way these things are worded, I think about different cultures.
Yeah.
And that's where it leads me to. And I'm so glad that I've been able to travel around the globe, because in different cultures, the dynamics are different. There are literally cultures where once the woman has the baby, the dad is gone. He's either got another wife, because he's got 5 or 6 wives, or I remember when I did my first trip to Honduras as a mission trip, there were a lot of babies that were left on the side of the road in their little baby carriages because the moms couldn't afford to take care of them, but daddy was over in the U.S. working or something.
Wow.
And so they put those babies on the side of the road because there was a unwritten rule that if you just put your baby on the side of the road, somebody will pick it up and take care of it. Kind of like we can, take a baby to the fire station now and they'll find it. Yeah, it was kind of like that concept. But you've never seen a country that I saw where there's no red lights, no stop signs, no nothing. To come around the corner, you got to blow your horn to let the next car know you're coming, because they drive in both lanes. And I'm looking at them babies, and I know I saw 3 within the 12 weeks that I was, the 12 days that I was there. And it's sad to just see a new baby, or just a baby period, in a baby carriage, just sitting on the side of the road, and somebody's supposed to pick that baby up. A stranger like you or me. That to me freaked me out a little bit. But the project that we were there working on, there were 2,000 acres, and on those acres of land, they had all of these trailers set up where these women would come and take care and nourish these babies. So
that's nice.
But I was just hoping the babies got picked up before these cars hit them, because it was wild on the road over there. And I loved Honduras, but that was just interesting to learn the culture. So when I think about these myths that they're talking about, I have to give a little bit of credence to it, only because of different cultures that we don't even know about.
True.
Yeah. So, when we think about dads, we want to know what your comments are. We want to know how you feel about your dad. Like, if you had that one word to describe your dad, we'd like to know what that one word is. Just one word. Or if you've got, like me, I said, cooler than a fan. But I just needed to describe what kind of cool I was talking about.
Yeah.
So we'd love to know what your comments are about your dads. Because these are conversations that moms and daughters should have is, hey, what do you think about your dad? Or, if you could describe your dad, especially if your dad is no longer here. You want to have that conversation about what you thought about your dad. Don't you think so?
I agree.
Yeah. Anything else?
No, that's it. I'm definitely interested to see what you have in the comments so we can respond.
Yeah. We got to respond
Sure.
just to kind of see what people have to say about what they think about their dad. But before you even put the comment down there, or shortly after you put the comment down there, go ask your mom what they thought about their dad, and then you tell them what you thought about or think about your dad, and just see how that conversation goes. Here's what I'm willing to bet. Because sitting here with you and I talking about this conversation right now, we just realized we have two things in common with dads. Your dad was cool. My dad was cool. Mm-hmm. So that's two things we had in common right there about our dads, which is really, I think it's kind of neat. You'll see some commonalities, but as we love to say, make sure that you like our page, you subscribe, hit the notification bell, right?
Yes. And
then they need to tell who they need to tell.
Every woman you know.
Every single woman you know. Help us to build this community of 1 million women so that we can do some wonderful things. We can highlight and showcase some women that are doing great things. We're going to be celebrating this month on the 22nd for Business Women's Day. It's been around since the 40s, and we can't wait to just kind of shout out and celebrate women. Look forward to that show on September the 22nd. And as we say, bye for now.
Bye. Have you been looking for the right bags and accessories to go with your perfect summer or fall outfits like me? Visit the Brigati Collections website. You won't be disappointed. The Brigati Collection not only carries vegan leather, but they also carry 100% genuine leather as well. All leather goods to include vegan are limited edition, meaning limited quantity of styles and colors to produce, which are about less than 50, so it will be first come, first serve. The website is www.burgatticollection.com. That's B as in boy, ORGOTTI collection.com. There are over 75 products to choose from, so go ahead and head on over to their website and please make sure you take advantage of your chance to sign up and win a gift. I personally came across a few sunglasses and crossbodies I'm going to have to cop soon, so I hope you do the same and notice that there's free shipping always. And we didn't forget about you fellas either now. Make sure you check out their unisex aviators and bags as well. Do you experience issues or any sleep disorders? What about PMS? Any chronic joint pain relief needed? Or migraine relief needed? Well, don't panic, it's organic, baby! Certified Hip Hut is a natural path to good health. Stop by and let us cook you a great meal in-house or to go. Also, please keep in mind, when you visit Certified Hip Hut's location and make an in-house purchase, you will receive a variety of samples to try out. Everyone loves samples, I know I do. Come check us out at our location. We're at 3422 Farm to Market 2920, and that's in Spring, Texas 77388.
Hey, it's Miss Dawn. You're wondering how you can support our show, Mother-Daughter-ish? We have Cash App, we have PayPal, and we do have Vimeo. Support our show so that we can reach out to more women. Our goal is to reach and build a community of 1 million women. Why don't you come on and help us do that?